Swastiastu. Hello everyone, how are you today? I hope you are still in a good condition. So today we are from the second group. We'll be explain about media and material development for teaching English for young learners. But before that, we will introduce ourselves. My name is Niftu Surya Utami Dewi and my friend name is Nigade Dia Sutrisnawati. Okay, the first presentation will be explained by me. Okay, the first is definition of media. Media is a component that has an important influence on the learning process. The media becomes an intermediary for how the information is conveyed. It is according to Cosma 1891. Through the media, a teacher can also communicate and interact with students in the learning process. This will affect the learning process of students in understanding the material conveyed by the teacher through teaching media. Besides that, teaching media has important role as the supporting tool for students in learning. It is according to Sukma Hidayanti 2015. Media also facilitate teacher in teaching and student in understanding the material. According to Cosma 1891, state that with the existence of teaching media, the teaching and learning process will be more effective. The second is the use of instructional media for teaching English for young learners. As we know that English in Indonesia is a foreign language, therefore learning English needs to be taught from an early age. Many countries also present English to children in pre-primary setting. It is according to Cahyati, Parmawati, and Atmawijaja 2019. Young learners is a term for children under 12 years old. With the unique characteristic of young learners, it is not easy for teachers to teach English to them. Young learners are very quickly bored and lost focus after about 10 minutes. It is according to Babiars and Crutch 2019. Need something to make English listen are more easily mastered by students. Some aspects that can affect the teaching and learning activities in the classroom to be effective and efficient. One of them is using instructional media. So what is instructional media? According to Sadiman et al. In 1986, instructional media is anything used to send information from the senders to the receivers to arouse learners' curiosity and to encourage them to learn. Related to the definition, Reiser and Dick in 1996 proposed that instructional media might be all the traditional way to deliver and the listen. Instructional way it's teachers, chalkboard, textbook, and other print material, or the new instructional media like CD-ROM, computer, interactive video, and multimedia system. In this study, instructional media are defined as tools used in educational setting to deliver the material, information to reach effective teaching learning. Mufango, Indosi, and Okwara in 2019 state instructional media become one of the factors that influence the success of teacher to deliver material and make it easier for students to master the material taught. Instructional media are represented as means used in educational setting to explain material or information so that the teaching and learning process is effective. Appropriate instructional media is very useful for learning activities in the classroom, especially in teaching English. Some advantage in using instructional media. According to Sukma Hidayanti 2015, instructional media has several benefits in teaching English, especially in teaching English to young learners. There are several benefits in utilizing instructional media in teaching English. Several benefits in instructional media such as attracting attention, developing interest, adjusting the learning environment, and the last is promoting the acceptance of an idea. And then there are several types of instructional media that can be utilized in teaching English to young learners. In the study, Harmer's classification of instructional media is used as the reference of the instructional media types. There are some types of instructional media like realia, picture, course book, board, overhead projector, and the last is flip chart. Okay, the first type is realia. In TEFL survival site in 2012, realia means using a real object inside or outside classroom to teach English. It can provide experience for students to involve student sense in learning. So teachers show the real object for the student, not only just a picture. The second is pictures. Pictures and image are one of graphic material examples. Graphic materials refers to non-photographic or two-dimensional material, designed to convey message and information which combines symbolic, visual, and verbal information. Drawing, chart, graphic, and also cartoons are kinds of this media. Pictures can be used for several purposes such as drills, communication, understanding, ornamentation, prediction, and discussion. The third is course book. Course book is one of print media which has been used by teacher as the guide of teaching learning. It is according to Onasanya and Gabrielatos 2004. It is print material and information according to Aini 2013. It also contains exercise and tasks for students. The next is board. Boards refers to blackboard, whiteboard, or any board used in classroom. Candler 2011 states several benefits in using whiteboard in teaching English in classroom. It can involve students in lesson, monitoring students' comprehension of the lesson, can be analyzed easily, saving paper, and students can interact with it easily. Boards can be used in various different purposes such as notepad, explanation aid, picture frame, public workbook, game board, and notice board. The next is OHP or overhead projector. Overhead projectors are useful for teachers in showing many things on overhead transparencies. Onasanya in 2004 state one of the advantages by using OHP, students can see the material in front of class, and it also helps teacher to show something one by one. And the last is flip chart. Flip chart is a media which contains big sheet of paper. It is according to Aini 2013. It is mostly used during discussion to write down points that are being discussed. Flip chart is divided into two parts, namely flip chart which only contains blank sheets of paper that are ready to be filled with learning message. Second, flip chart that contains pre-prepared learning message whose contents can be image, text, graphic, chart, etc. Blank flip chart can be used by writing directly some important lesson so that easily remembered by students, while the flip chart that contains the image usually already contains learning message that have previously been prepared by students. From the description about the instructional media, it can be concluded that there are many types of instructional media that can be used in teaching learning activities. Those different types help teachers in different teaching learning activities and material. Although various instructional media have been developed, not all of them can be used in the same time. Teachers need to choose the most appropriate instructional media due to the student characteristic, the material, and also the teaching method. Okay, that's all about media development. The next presentation will be explained by Dia.
Material development. To provide good educational service to early childhood, we must understand their characteristics and know their needs according to their level of development so that we can provide the right material for early childhood. Principle in developing materials. The first, supplement activities with visual, reality, and movement. Young learners tend to have short attention span and a lot of physical energy. In addition, children are very much linked to their surroundings and are more interested in the physical, and the thinkable. Their own understanding comes through hands and eyes and ears. The physical world is dominant at all times. One way to capture their attention and keep them engaged in activities is to supplement the activities with a lot of brightly colored visual puppets or objects to match the ones used in the stories that you tell or songs that you sing. This can also help make the language input comprehensible and can be used for follow-up activities such as retelling stories or guessing games. Although it may take a lot of preparation time to make colorful picture and puppets or to collect toys and objects. And number 2 is involve student in making visual and reality. One way to make the learning more fun is to involve students in interaction of the visuals or reality. Having children involved in creating the visuals that are related to the lesson help engage students in the learning process by introducing them to the context as well as the relevant vocabulary items. In addition, language related to the art and craft activities can be taught while making or drawing the visual. And number 3 is move from activity to activity. And as stated before, young learners have short attention spans. For young students from age 5 to 10 especially, it is a good idea move too quickly from activity to activity. Do not spend more than 10 or 15 minutes on any one activity because children tend to become bored easily. Of teaching material for early learners. The first, the nature vocabulary using audiovisual. Vocabulary is one of the most obvious components of language and one of the first things applied linguistics turn their attention to. Vocabulary is a list of words with their meanings, especially in a book for learning a foreign language. According to Farmer, there are two kinds of vocabulary. The first is active vocabulary. Active vocabulary is used in oral and written expression by the students. The words that the students understand well enough, they use the words actively in both speaking and writing. And the second one is passive vocabulary. Passive vocabulary, it deals with words that the students will recognize, understand in a context that helps them resolve the word meaning. The student usually apply passive vocabulary in listening and reading materials. And kinds of vocabulary topics for elementary school. The first, the word around the learner. This topic is divided become 5 subtopics among other things. The first, the physical word example, ocean, mountains, desert, and so on. The second one is weather example, showers, cloudy, fog, power, and many more. And the third one is using the land. Example, plants, agriculture, meaning horticulture, ground, rice growing, and so on. And the fourth one is animal. And in this example, lions, whale, spider, rabbit, cow, pig, and so on. And the last one is countries, nationality, and language. Example: Sweden, Swiss, Arabic, Malaysia, Indonesia, and so on. From the description above, it can be concluded that the young learners study simple vocabulary and their environment in order that the students know about the environment. And number 2 is W.E.L.D. He further mentioned that this topic is divided into 6 subtopics. They are as follows. The first, the body and what it does. Example: bend your knees, bite your nails, and so on. The second one is describing people's appearance. Example: tall and blonde with broad shoulders. And the third one is describing character. Example: shy, friendly, unlistened, and so on. And the fourth one is human feelings and action. Example: pride, jealous, obscure, whisper, and so on. And the last one is age and stage. Example: teenagers, grow up, adult, pregnant, and so on. And number 3 is daily life. This topic is divided becomes 15 subtopic. There are daily routines. Example: get up, leave home, go to sleep, and so on. And the second one is homes and buildings. Example: flat, on the ground, floor, roof, and so on. And the third one is around the home. For around the home, one example: lawns and the sofa, food, mixer, and so on. And the fourth one is around the home, two example: lesbian, TV, police, and so on. And the fifth one is everyday problem. Example: it's not working, drop, break, and so on. And money, example: coins, borrow, I cannot afford, and so on. And health, example: illness and disease. Example: flu, sore throat, sneezing, and so on. Clothes, example: shirt, get dressed, and so on. And there is a cooking and restaurant. Example: fry, salty, main course, book a table, and so on. And video materials. Video materials have been recognized as valuable resources for intensive language study because they can present a total communicate situation. Therefore, this study is warranted by the need to tap into the aspects of viewing comprehension using English videos and intermodal language learning, oral language learning, an extended period of time. Use video for learning show more improved performance on the learning comprehensions tasks much better than them colleagues who are exposed to the audio versions only. For example, by providing animated video and many more. Okay, that's all about media and material development. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.